Hi, my name is Sir Jackson, and this is Authentic Dialogue, the show where we have an authentic chat about conversations you and I would rather avoid. Welcome. One of the things I was taught very early in my career was a concept that the things that got you into the job are not necessarily the things that will make you rise in a job or that will keep you in the job. In fact, one of my supervisors once told me, the thing that got you promoted, if you keep doing it at the next level, will get you fired. Simply put, in life, we do reach points where for us to move from one step to the other, especially in the context of our transitions, we need to lose off some things. And interestingly, the things we at times need to lose are not necessarily in and of themselves bad, but they just become now unwanted or unnecessary. We are continuing with our series on Thinking Like a Parasite, where we are taking lessons from the experience of a parasite and how it can be able to be leveraged in nailing our life's transition. Please do make reference to the previous video so that you can be able to have a chain of continuous thought. Today we are looking at letter S within the word parasite, and S stands for shedding. And as alluded to in the start, we do reach points where we need to shed off things within our life, especially in the context of transitions. And there are two categories of things that we need to shed off. Number one is things that are unwanted, and number two is things that are unnecessary. Those are two different, and let me take a moment to explain this to you. Things that are unwanted are exactly that. They are completely negative. They're probably vices. They are things that in and of themselves are harmful. So if you have poor work ethic, that's something that is unwanted. If you have excessive loan, or debt, this is something that is unwanted. If you have certain character traits that just make you rub off the wrong way against everyone else, that's unwanted. Those are things that you need to get rid of. So one category of things you need to consider for you to be able to maneuver in your transition from where you are to where you need to get to is consider what are things in my life that are unwanted. And transitions have the beauty of giving us quiet moments and at times moments of low or little activity where we are able to see ourselves for who we really are and are able to see things that are unwanted in our lives. Ways to know this is, if you have friends, please let them be able to tell you. If you're an employee or you go through performance reviews, just listen to what people are shouting at that they don't want. If you are a company, just look at how your products are moving and what are the reviews people are giving you. For you to transition to the next version of the product, you need to know what's unwanted in your product. The second category of things that we need to shed off are what we call unnecessary. Now, unnecessary are not in and of themselves negative, but they've become, just like the name says, unnecessary. Now, you do notice in the journey of transition, we began from P, meaning present, A, things to attach, and R was things to reposition. And so the reality has been that in the journey of transition, at times where you begin from is not where you really need to end to. And in the process of moving from where you begin to where you need to go to, there are things you have accumulated, either skills or at times friends or titles, and that will not be able to get you to the next level. For you to get to the next level, some of these things that were needed for the previous step need to go. So if you want to begin operating as a senior manager, that's say the transition you need to go to, you probably began the journey in that organization as an intern. However, you cannot, as a senior manager or one aspiring to be a senior manager, think or view yourself like you did when you're an intern. So you needed the skills you needed to step in to get into that organization as an intern But now for you to become a senior manager, intern thinking, intern behavior has to be shed off. Not that intern thinking, intern behavior is bad in and of itself, but now for where you want to go, it is completely unnecessary. So you need to appreciate that throughout the journey of life, there are things you have now gathered which for you to go to the next level may at times need to be let go of. And this is where transitions become very emotive, because some of the things we have acquired have been acquired at a great effort and strength and sacrifice and means, and at times we fear to shed them off. But a brilliant company that I saw doing this was Apple, when they'd made runaway success with the iPod. And everyone was thinking like this was going to be the next thing, but they had the foresight and insight to realize that the next level was not going to be a better or a bigger iPod, but it was going to be something that did away with the iPod for something new to come. And in that case, we gave birth to the iPhone and what it has become today. Have they realized that for the next level, the iPod was unnecessary? They probably would have a string of products that were completely not needed. And so the same thing is with your life. For you to be able to at times move within your transitions, you need to be able to recognize things that are unnecessary and do the necessary steps to yield them for you to move to the next level. But shedding off is not easy, whether it's relational, emotional, career-wise, and whichever. So there are three attitudes that we can approach the shedding off process. And I'll say this in advance, only one of these attitudes will be helpful. Attitude number one, not helpful, but still one of the attitudes we approach our shedding stages with is the attitude of complaining. Complaining is simple, it's baseline. It only needs you to have three things: an eye to observe, a mind to think, and a mouth to complain. That's all you need for you to complain. Most citizens are adept at complaining. They see the things the government should be doing, and some of the problems even they complain about is problems they themselves as citizens have been able to create. The big challenge with complaining during transition is it changes nothing. It actually taxes and borrows from the energy that is needed to make forward momentum, and then misuses it or misplaces it to just speak about the obvious. So complaining, the baseline, normal, easy way, but creates a lot of emotion, but really no motion or movement. The second level is called curiosity. Curiosity moves slightly above complaint. It begins considering possibilities, it begins considering context, it begins asking a bit more deeper, more meaningful questions at baseline complaining. However, whereas curiosity looks intelligent, it looks well-meaning and well-intended, again, curiosity does not get the job done. People are just curious, and if curiosity continues, it becomes nothing more but a glorified form of gossip. We're just gathering information and data about situations and individuals, but not using them to be able to inform any means of forward momentum. So, shedding off stages can be engaged with a lot of curiosity. What's the next big thing? What's the next trend? What's going to happen after this phase in life? What's going to happen in the next stage? A lot of curiosity. But if that is not then converted into action, it doesn't help. The third and the only attitude that helps us be able to move forward is called courage. Courage means looking at things as they are, but also looking at them as they can be, but then going one more step further and saying that what can be has to be. And for it to be, I will need to put in effort, I will need to sacrifice, I will need to start somewhere, start small, start ugly, but I will begin moving with what I have, from where I have, as I move towards what it should become. Courage. Courage is starting out before it is fully clear about how everything will be, and then turning and iterating and making the changes as it needs to be. Courage is confronting the ugly realities for what they are and beginning to brighten the corner from where you are. And then from that corner, spreading it all out. Courage is the only attitude that will help us during our shedding experiences. Curiosity may fill us with information. Complaining may fill us with a lot of bitterness. But none of those other two will give us what it takes to be able to shed off the unnecessary and the unwanted. Might it be that your transition experience is being bogged down by that which is unwanted and necessary? You need to learn from the parasites. When the appendages they have done their work, they shed them off. When they go to a place where they no longer need to digest food but absorb digested food, they lose the things for digesting food and now just begin absorbing. And no wonder they become masters at transitions. Life will throw at us various things. It is time we learn from parasites and we learn to shed off the unwanted and the unnecessary by not complaining, not curiosity, but embracing a spirit of courage. I'd like to hear your courage stories and how they've helped you be able to go through some transition. So I want you to jump into the comment and encourage someone or encourage me by sharing those stories. Until next time, please subscribe to the channel and yes, think like a parasite.